the
Oh.
Passion Award. And you voted for this person to receive this. And the award goes to Dana. Demonstrating a high level of passion for natural awakenings. You are a shining light that brightens the path for all those you meet. And you are.
This company is just an absolute blessing. I mean, it's so honored to be part of this family, and to get this award is like, it touches my heart. It's like the heart meditation that you taught us, and I gotta say, it is so special because I'm always saying to Marilee, Larry's with us. I mean, he's with me every day on the road, and he is with us, and he's guiding us, and he wants us to spread our wings and fly, and he just wants us to soar. And everything he ever talked to me about was love with his company, and he absolutely adored you and everything that you did, and all of you. I mean, I'd never heard the man say a poor word about anybody, and he just absolutely adored all of us. So thank you so much. It just is very special. Thank you.
We don't have to do anything to make life challenging. If we don't do it, life does it. But the design of life is that we're challenged. And especially nowadays with technology, things moving so quickly, information coming at us so rapidly, there's so much going on that creates a level of stress and fear. And people are stressed and afraid. And you can go deeper into what it is to be human. And basically, a human being is a being that believes itself to be something that's an illusion, that's not real. You know, the truth is we're a vast space of light and love. And then the mind generates thoughts, and we kind of hold on to these thoughts, and we build a reality with these thoughts like bricks.
Yeah, I don't even know if I can say too much right now. I'm really happy to share this night with Jacob because I know he knows how important his dad was to us, but I really wanted you to feel it yourself. It's doing terribly. So that's really, all I need to say right now. But does anybody want to have, anybody want to share? You're welcome. Anything?
I just saw the last shot from the 2015 conference, and I think all the women that were there were trying to get him to dance. And
Yeah.
just really happy that we succeeded because we shared this really freeing effect on them, and really, didn't know what it would feel like to dance. So happy that we shared that with them.
Yes, I know. I love seeing that picture of him dancing. We worked on him. We worked together.
Because he said,
He was the best. The best.
He was. I had the fortune to meet Larry in, I don't know if it was at their conference. It was in Naples. And he did the opening for Sharon did, and he introduced Larry. And I immediately knew he was someone so special. Because it's funny, usually in business, you don't talk about love, you don't talk about necessarily your family. But I remember Larry's first words were about Jacob and his wife Martha. And I think everyone that knew Larry in some depth knew Jacob and Martha and what they meant for him. He wasn't just a leader, an incredible human being, but his love and passion for the people that he loved the most, I've never seen. How a man can be so devoted to his wife, even though she wasn't here. It just allows us to experience and have a remote idea of the depth of that love, the depth of that passion, the depth that he was all about. He was spirit. There was a body here, but it was a lot more than that. He embraced everything that we strive for. So I'm honored that I met this amazing guy. And then I get to spend 10 plus years with him. Something amazing about Larry was that he'll make you feel so special, regardless, the time and place, And I think we all have such a deep connection with him because for each one of us, we were so special for him. And that's how he made us feel, he connected on the deepest level that he could connect with us, He knew our strength and help us to get the best out of us. And he knew our weaknesses, yet he never, ever expressed anything about it. We talked to him like he was best friend, you know. And last year, for the past couple of years, during the summer, I come to my Buddhist retreat in Miramar, Florida, and this year was very special. I was going to major turmoils and big decisions with regards to my professional and personal life, and I think it's a great time for me to just recharge. I disconnect from everything and everyone, including my wife and kids. And it's a time that I devote for myself. And during that trip, I had the need to connect with, people that have been very dear to me. And for some reason, in this process that I was going through, it was important for me to connect. And so I reached out to Sharon, to Larry, and Marilyn, which we had created such an incredible relationship. And Sharon was back in Michigan, so we couldn't get together, but I was able to meet with Marilyn. And after meeting Marilyn, I was in Miramar, so it was like an hour and a half drive to meet Marilyn. I was an hour with her, and then I had coordinated with Larry to meet him. And it's so funny, he was like, "Are you crazy, Luis? How are you going to be driving all over the place and then come meet me on the other side?" And I was like, I just want to get together with you, and he was a great mentor, so I did that day, and I saw Jacob. I spent a couple of times with him, I even stayed in the place, so I was blessed, So we went to dinner at sushi place, which would have been the same sushi place we had been a couple of years back. And we catch up with everything, and our conversation inevitably ended up with Jacob, and his plans to college and how excited he was, how much he was looking forward, and at the same time his fear of, giving wings to his little one and see him like leave his place. And we had an amazing time. And at the end of that evening, as every time he would say, "Luis, I love you." And he'll say all these amazing things. I would say bye. So it was a blessing just to be able to spend with him that moment, And if there's anything I'm grateful for, it's for those little times, I've been kind of in denial for that, since September. And it wasn't until I got here yesterday that I was like, "Where's Larry?" I even wore shorts because that's how he was. I'm like, I suddenly on the pictures I saw him with flags. I'm like, "Larry, what's up with that?" I don't remember that.
That was his first when he didn't know us.
Regardless whether it was the morning or the evening gathering, he was just, and he was perfect. He was perfect, So I'm blessed and I'm honored to be part of this family. I'm blessed to be able to share this time and be part of that amazing life. And I'm blessed that Jacob is here. and he get to experience, something so special. Thank you.
But you told me something, very wise. He said, "Reed, you're a rebel, and right now you're rebelling against yourself. You earned this money. You have to get your finances in order. You have to believe in what you've done and get the money that you earned." And that was so powerful for me, and it helped me turn my, franchise into being profitable and really value what I did. These words are for you, Jacob, because they were written 2,500 years ago, and they were translated in 1957, so they're not gender neutral. So I apologize for that. It says, this is sayings of the Buddha, and the charitable man is loved by all. His friendship is prized highly. In death, his heart is at rest and full of joy, for he suffers not from repentance. He receives the opening flower of his reward and the fruit that ripens from it. Hard it is to understand, but by giving food, we get more strength. By bestowing clothing on others, we gain more beauty. By donating abodes of purity and truth, we acquire great treasures. There's a proper time and a proper mode in charity. Just as the vigorous warrior goes to battle, and we are warriors, so is the man who is able to give. He is like a warrior, a champion, strong and wise in action, loving and compassionate. He gives with reverence and banishes all hatred, envy, and anger. The charitable man has found the path of salvation. He is like the man who plants the sapling, securing thereby the shade, the flowers, and the fruit in future years. And that's Larry.
First time I met Larry, we had to reconcile a lot of things that were sort of divided from corporate office. We had the national program, a multi-market program operating in Jacksonville out of my office. And so there was a lot of things that had to be cleared up and a lot of things that had to be handled. And I was a little possessive about it. Anna can tell you. She came in one day to kind of do a little audit. And, we came out a couple of disagreements. But what was so incredible is that when Larry spoke to me, even not knowing him, I felt so much compassion and love. He understood what we had built. Not that he understood it, by the way. He just understood that it was something we built from the ground. And he had so much love and so much compassion that I couldn't wait to meet him. And right after that, we had one of our conferences. And I brought all the equipment. Or maybe it was a training, but I think it was a conference. And I brought all the equipment and stuff. And I got to sit down with him. And from the very start, it was just something when you look in his eyes that said, "I love you." And honestly, I had never met another man. And, we embraced because, that's what he did. And that's what I did. But I got to tell you, I had never been embraced quite like that. He didn't hug you. He loved you. You felt the love emitting from him. And it was so incredible. Well, that night, and much to my shock, we were talking because we had a lot of things we had to work out and handle, and a lot to convey. And he's like, "Let's go outside." Most people were going. A few people just sitting around talking. And we went into his SUV. And I think he pulled out a cigarette. He expressed to me how bad he wanted to be with Martha, how much he missed her, how much he loved her. Amazingly, whether life or death, his heart was unchanged. And like Louise said, I've never seen another man with so much love for another human being that was no longer in the physical world. And once we had that conversation, we literally walked out of the truck, and he knew he still had to raise you, by the way. He was real clear what his job was. And how much he loved you, and how awesome it was to be your father. He adored that job, by the way. He really did. He told me he did. But we got out of the car now. I've done this with women before. But we literally walked out of the car and just grabbed each other and held on. In a public parking lot. At some hotel. It was a little strange, but it felt perfect. And that love that I felt from that man that night after that connected us. I have a brother, and I don't see him that often or hear from him. But from that day forth, your father became my brother. We cut a deal that I would work for 50 hours training him on the national program. We must have worked 500 hours. We were on the phone every day. We were on the phone talking and teaching him and trying to figure things out better. And here's what I know. I'm the technology guy. I'm the guy who comes up with the ideas and moves things forward. I'm the innovator. I'm all about the stuff now. Larry is about finding the goal for this company. Finding what can make people more profitable, but also make you better at what you do and more comfortable in your skin. And together we had conversations, and I would see his passion and love for you come out as all he wanted to do was find an easier, better way. And I have seen him get a little upset, and he has vented with me. And I've seen him be human. But you know, the beautiful thing about Larry is he was real. He was authentic. And all he wanted any of us to do, and if he didn't say this 100 times, he didn't say it once. I just want them to get it. What they're doing is extraordinary. This thing that Sharon has built is amazing. And all I want them to do is get how truly powerful and wonderful they are. And their magazines will flourish if they just understand that. And he was determined to love each and every one of us to the point that we could love ourselves enough to blow these businesses up and to literally spread the message around the world. That's what he wanted. I was there. I witnessed it. It was a journey that I think we shared and spoke about so often that it just became real. And honestly, since he's gone, I feel disconnected. I don't know where I fit in anymore. It's like, it's just like Larry's here, but he's not, because, you know, personally, I don't really, he's with us all the time. He's here. He's right here all the time. He's with all of us. And the fact is that he was incredible. And all he wanted was all of us to get it and to flourish and to transform the world. That's it. It was that simple. And, you know, to have had the honor to be able to say he was a brother. And that makes you like a nephew. Sorry about that, but you can always call me. I'll always be there. Larry was amazing. sharing him with us for all these years. And we will always all be here for you, because we do love you, because we loved your father. He was just incredible. Thank you.
Okay, how are we doing? Maybe this is a good time for Jacob.
Oh, yeah.
He always told me, I said, no pressure.
Hi. I can say a lot of stuff, but there's one thing that I'm just realizing now that I want to say. Dad spent a lot of time with me, loving me, helping me all the time. And it's awesome to see that he did the same with so many other people. It's great to see that he loved all you guys and you guys all loved him and he made a difference in so many people's lives. Because he spent most of the time with me, so it's good to see he did some stuff. And like Freddie said, he's here in all of us. Whenever he talks about like spiritual stuff, I got like bored. He talked about it a lot, but even though he's not here, he's definitely in all of us. So I want to thank you for keeping him in all your guys' hearts and out there. Thank you.
I remember how excited Larry was when Jacob did the landmark poem. And then he went back again, I think. And maybe, yeah. He was like, oh. So, does anybody, I know, thank you so much for Freddie and Luis and Reed for really speaking for all of us in a lot of ways. And thank all of you for giving me such a safe place, that we can create this kind of space together. And a lot of that is because of Larry, that we can just cry together and we can be together the way we are. Thank you so much. We'll celebrate.
Because Larry loves it.
Celebrate life. Celebrate life.
Okay, so it was duly noted, all the guys got up, which is really amazing.
No, we need a
I know.
Well, no, right, so I don't have all the history, but what I will say is, it is amazing if you have a man. This is Jacob, this is what I would say to you. I shouldn't even cry, but, because I can't be a mushy mom. So I'm going to be a mushy mom for a minute and tell you as a young man, listen to what these guys said. Lob on to other male mentors. All these guys that said they'd be there for you, call them. Because you still need that. A boy needs his dad. And there are other people here. And it's just amazing that there are men that would stand up here. You have to understand how exceptional this is, because you live with your dad, I get it. Because my kids don't listen to some of the stupid stuff I say. Well, they do now because they're old. So once you're in your 30s, you'll realize how smart your dad was. But the point is this, is your dad was exceptional. To have 3 men stand up here from their heart, talk about publicly embracing another man in a parking lot hotel. I shouldn't look straight. But the fact is that you need to lob onto that and realize that when those little voices come in your head, there are a couple things my dad, I remember, he said to me, and he told me that, your script in life is written, but you can rewrite the play. And I still distinctly remember that about my dad. So when there's those moments that come in, Do you remember some of those words of wisdom? Hold on to them.
I think so.
Because he planted those seeds and they come, go. And if you don't get it, you start to make stupid decisions. As you're a young man, you might. Because I really would, and that's why I got up here. When you said I didn't listen to my dad, I was bored. I get it. I get it. But don't make those dumb decisions. Call somebody. You're not alone. Right? And everybody here's thinking, well, it's Larry's son, so he's got it. You probably do. But you need other people. So that's really, really, really critical. And so everybody here, even all the guys that stood up that looked kind of cool and got it together, and they're wearing shorts with Birkenstocks, you know. but the point is that, and I'm not just talking to you, I think us as human beings, we all have this little piece inside of us that's looking for something, some validation, who we are, what's important. Everybody's in this magazine because deep inside you, you want to make a difference. Really, right? And so, anyway, I think the important takeaway is you started this thing, and it really is making a difference. So it doesn't matter. I've talked to different publishers. If you're at $5,000 a month and trying to figure it out, and you're at break even, I'll tell you again. So what I said is, stupid technology. I hate technology.
Are we live on Facebook?
If you are, then my kids will hate me.
We're being recorded.
But no, and I don't need to babble here. But I think the whole point is at the end of the day, we're all human beings and have some chip inside of us, no matter what it is. Like trying to get validation. You know, your story is going to be your story. Choose to make it what you want it to be. Right? My story can be poor me. You know, I don't have my mom. I don't have my dad. You know, your story is lucky me. I had wonderful parents who adored each other, and they're together somewhere. Now go create that for yourself. Right? So each one of us have to figure that out. You know, you're in a relationship, you're not in a relationship, your magazine's doing well, or Macy, you're at $5,000 a month and you're trying to figure it out. And you're like, did you get it? She got it. Okay. So, but the point is that you're still making a difference. So. You know, again, I struggle with this myself. You know, every day, Mary Lynn has been so key to all of us that have really logged on to that. So, Evernote, use it. But the second part of that is, it made me think. I Googled Mary Lynn and there all this stuff came up in Evernote. And then also, but I'm also going to take go back. Sharon gave you a gift. Again, I'm not trying to get up here to preach, but I'm all over the board with it. But I'm saying she gave you a gift, Mary Lynn. Go back, file serve, wherever it is. Put it back out. Somebody send it out.
It's on
Pat,
Voice.
it's
on NA Voice.
Don't make people go look for it. Put it out there. Somebody send the link and say there are 6 sessions besides Larry, who impacted a lot of people. We've heard the name Mary Lynn. Right there, Puerto Rico. Saved. Who? Your dad, Mary Lynn, I would say, are probably gifts that kept the Puerto Rican magazine going. I wasn't here to hear the story, but I would guess. I saw that moment 2 years ago when I met Mary Lynn. There are people that come along that do that. Guys, she paid for sessions that you and I have been paying $200 an hour for. Go pay attention. Listen to it. Do it. Do the work. And again, I'm preaching to myself. When I said use Evernote, I realized I'm using it, but I'm not using it. So like today I challenged myself on a couple things that came in. Oh, go stick it in stupid Evernote. Don't put it in my head because I'll forget to do it. But anyways, so the reason I got up was because I love Sharon and I didn't want to stay up here crying alone. And all the guys got up here and it's going to be time to dance. But before we go there, I will say this. My memory of it is so distinct. I told you the story about my dad in Woodstock. Your dad said something to Gio and I once, 4 years ago, that was very impactful in our life, and that is that we were new publishers coming to conference, and there was a travel snafu, And, we're like, get a little early, get there in time, which is not really me, but when I knew I was. And so he said to us, we called and said, Larry, we're going to be late. He goes, you know what, it doesn't matter. Calmly, in the Larry kind of voice, you'll be there in the perfect time.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I can't tell you how many times that one thing that he said has profoundly impacted our life.
And he was right.
And he was so right. We got in, and and it was, and so I can't tell you how many times Tim and I have said that. Like, oh, you're flirting around, you're trying to do whatever you're trying to do, and you get in the car, and I'm like, you know what? But Larry said it'd be the perfect time. We might have missed an accident on the way to wherever we're going.
Yeah, you never know.
We'll show up at the right time. Maybe there's some conversation was taking place we didn't need to hear, whatever it was. And so again, and so as everybody was talking, and you don't want to think this, and it's hard to lose somebody, but it had to be his perfect time. And he knew it. And he knew it. And I'm so grateful that we recorded that in Evernote. There's the last conversation they had, because we have it, and so I'm kind of making a joke about it, but it's very, very true. And so what moments in your life do you think you need to capture? How do you want to capture them? We're talking today at lunch about being present, and we say that a lot. And so we're talking about, because Sharon had to talk about, what's the topic?
Flow.
No.
Stay
Stay in the flow. Yeah. Are you in the flow? I'm like, my flow is like, but the point being is that we talked about that, and so just a couple of carryways, and every day I wake up with the Mary Linda's and is trying to really freaking find the time to do the work, and it's hard. It's really hard. But in this Larry time of thinking about it's all perfect time, in this moment, right now, regardless of where you're at in your magazine or your personal life or any of that, this is a perfect moment. And so it is a perfect time to launch us and say, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate Larry. Let's celebrate life. Let's dance. Let's drink. And, I don't know what else to say, but again, I don't want to hog the moment, but it's just accept we need a girl's voice. And I really do appreciate the guys getting up here, because for me as a woman, it means really a lot to see men willing to really put themselves out.
Really.
Right?
All really blessed, to be able to be together and just like, here comes another guy.
I know, right? I feel like this will be anticlimactic after the really profound interactions, but in the interest of trying to provide Jacob a more complete picture, a total picture of how we remember Larry in all the different ways we remember him, I thought I'd share my small piece. So the first time I saw him speak, I was just sort of like, who is this guy? Is he for real? Like, the way he looks, the way he talks. Just something didn't, the skeptic in me was like, this doesn't add up, doesn't seem right. And I spent many years, I worked for Target Corporation in Minneapolis, where I'm from, so corporate retail. And it's all about guest service at the store level. Well, there's a concept that they apply internally for the internal employees called internal guest service. And you exhibit the same level of courtesy and timeliness, all those things you would expect to extend to a shopper in your store to retain their business. You extend that to your coworker. Larry had impeccable internal customer service in spades. Always called back within, I wouldn't even leave a message. Voicemail, he called me back within 15 minutes. Sorry, missed your call. I've got time to talk right now. He made you feel important.
Yeah.
Always did, consistently. And so I learned, I've always been a big believer that actions speak louder than words.
Yes.
Larry's actions spoke volumes. He made everybody feel important that ever interacted with him. That's who he was.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Some comic relief.
Okay, a couple things I have to tell you. One, I do my own layout, so I know the graphic designers will get this, but I have John Bull and I have Larry's picture on my pasteboard, looking at my cover. And every month I go, okay, John and Larry, here we go again. And I know, beknownst to some of you, some days I have a hard day. I know it's hard to figure that out, but some days I have a bad day. I whine. I know it's true. And I'll be talking to those guys going, you got to help me get through this, John and Larry. I go, which cover do you like? Which one? And I'm talking to the picture. I know, it's scary. It's scary, but it's a true story. And the second part of the story is no one is allowed to call me Deb. Do you realize that none of you, Chris, you've known me forever, Susan, you don't call me Deb. You call me Debbie. It's because my ex-husband called me Deb. No one is allowed to call me Deb, but one other person. And I'm going to tell you the story. Okay. So my last correspondence with Larry was this. My last email. So I got to tell you a little something here. So there's a publisher, and they're on listserv, and they're sending a couple emails, and they're not nice. Oh, jeez. No, in fact, there's one, and I read it, and I never really respond on listserv. And I go, ooh, I don't like that tone. And then there's a second one, and I'm like, what the? Fill in the blank. And then there's a third one, and I almost responded like Mama Bear, because the publisher was pretty much going after my Larry, our Larry. And I thought, no, no, no. Larry would not want me to respond that way, ever. And going back to what Dana said, Larry, and I think at least I've known Larry for at least 13 years, never, ever said a bad word about anyone that I know. It was all about love, period. I've never met anyone like Larry Levine, ever. So my response was not to the listserv, but to Larry. So here's my response after 3 kind of scathing emails, and I'm upset. I've turned red, and my dog's looking at me, and I'm like, ah! So anyway, I go, hi, Larry. Would you like me to cut off so-and-so's head? Okay, I'm just kidding. I watch too much Game of Thrones. I said, Larry, I hope you are doing okay and having a great week. And the response was, love you, Deb.
Well, how are we doing? Last
quick
story.
One very quick story. I had the pleasure.
Doesn't have to be that. Only if you want to do.
I had the pleasure of meeting your dad just once a year ago in training, and great man, like everyone else is saying. But this was from a customer, actually. My story's from a customer. It's actually when your dad was sick. A little old lady from Charleston, South Carolina, called me. She said, you know, I called Larry to order my pain relief cream, I think it was. She said, he always calls me right back. Right back. She said, he's never gone a day. What's going on? Oh, boy. I just wanted to share that with you. I mean, that speaks volumes about what he is.
It's really a side note. Larry's message on his phone to me spoke about who he was as a person. And John Bowl made sure that I noted his message on his phone. And I don't know if any of you remember it, you probably do. But the way that he said goodbye, and the way that he left that message, it made me feel like I really am looking forward to connect with you. And please, please, I'm so sorry I missed the call, and I'm really looking forward to calling you back.
And just his tone of that voice message, whenever I left a message, it made me feel so valued and so precious. And that all these calls that were coming in that he couldn't quite get to and respond, it was like it broke his heart that he couldn't quite be right there, because I feel like I know that Larry, if he had the ability to answer every single phone call that came in, he would have done it. Like totally. 24/7. He wanted to be there for every one of us, all the time, bar none. It didn't matter, but he did have family first, and I so honored that. And I, the times that I met Jacob, I just said, yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it. He was so devoted to his family and to our family, and he was such a blessing to know. But again, it's just that one message that spoke his heart, and who he was. So that's my one of my loving memories.
Maybe you remember the dent I put in your car when I was going to visit Larry. She lowered me in the car and I backed up and
I was on the phone with you.
oh, you were?
I just crashed the car.
Distracted.
No, after.
Oh, after.
Just
Okay.
crashed.
All right. It finally got fixed. Like last week.
Yes. We just
I
finally
said, was
got
it the car bad?
driving around in your car with a dent in it. I did. Okay.
Sharon, this may sound kind of corny, but I feel very touched by the short time that I knew Larry, and he just radiated love, like everyone has said. Jacob, thank you so much for sharing him with us. And when I saw his picture smiling at us, something automatically drew my attention to these little stones around the candle, and I just felt like taking one. And so I didn't know if anyone else maybe wanted to take one, just to hold on to as a reminder of this special evening and as a connection to Larry, because where Sharon talked all about flow, I think Larry's all about glow. And so, that was cool.
They're going to go, what happened to all the...
I know.
What was that now?
You see on the master account bill, breakdown?
Oh, yeah. That's a great group, but I just don't understand why they're silly. I thought we were good to them. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing from your hearts, and thank you for giving me a platform.
Thank you. We love it.
And thank you. This is Larry's neighbors, and Jacob is living with their family.
We grew up next to each other, and I remember
Alex and
Larry and Martha, and we always just go to the pool together, the beach club all the time. And he's now living with my mom, but he's moving up here to UCF, so we get to see him. So
He's good. I said to Jacob when he came in, I said, you don't know how many publishers have watched your blog. Guess what he's going to major in college? Filmmaking, yeah. Enjoy the rest of your evening and celebrate a great life.